Dan, how are we?
Very good, Paulie. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Daniel and I have been really eating a certain way for a number of years now, and it's been serving us. I've gone through cycles of it. For the vast majority of my last few years, I've been eating through a restricted eating window, otherwise known as intermittent fasting. There are technical aspects about what differentiates one or the other, but let's just call it intermittent fasting, where you don't consume calories for a certain period of time, and then you have a restricted eating window where you do eat calories. And generally speaking, it can be 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of refeeding window. Now, conceptually, this can be a really, really, pardon the pun, tough pill to swallow. Dad joke. And the reason for that is because we've just been conditioned. I grew up in the 80s, and we were conditioned over and over and over again to wake up, eat your Weet Bix, lots of them, and then go on, have a snack, hit your lunch, a couple of sangers, and then move on to have a nice beefy dinner, and then something for dessert, and then go to sleep. But ultimately, through my own personal experience, I've found that not having the pressure, especially being a really busy dad, not having the pressure of needing to prepare that meal first thing in the morning has really created room to alleviate stress in my timetable, but it's also had another whole host of physiological benefits for me. For example, weight management, which is a massive one. There's just less opportunity for you to shove calories into your face. And there are another whole host of other health aspects, but they're not the ones that I'm majorly concerned with. The things I'm really majorly concerned with is the fact that we're really busy people, and we need to be structured about the way we actually conduct ourselves. So really, it's about really removing yourself from the paradigm of what we've been taught growing up, which is a really difficult thing to be able to do, right?
Wheat Bix are really good.
I mean, it was good for Trevor Handy.
That is vintage 80s. Right.
So, what are your thoughts on it, Dad?
Well, I mean, it's a question I ask myself now that I've been doing time restricted eating for the last 2 years. Just like how distracted I am by thinking about food and when my next meal is and when I need to fuel, and if I train, I need to eat, and before I train, when do I need to eat, and just a lot of thinking about eating. And I think it's a really interesting question just to pose is like, how much time do you spend thinking about food and when you're going to get your next meal? And so I would say in one respect, one of the benefits from this time restricted eating approach is that I'm just less distracted by food. I feel like I need less. And for someone who's obsessed with breakfast, to have actually paused doing that, I find a lot more space in my morning, especially, and also throughout the morning. Once I get past that first couple of hours, I feel like my body's just fueled up perfectly to just face the day. And sometimes I don't eat until 12, 1 or 2 o'clock, and I'm only having 1 or 2 or 2.5 meals a day, and I feel completely satiated. And I'm not rigid in that. It's kind of like how I feel, and if I need more, I'll eat more, and if I need less, I'll have less. And I feel like there's such balance and ease there. And I've actually been doing it pretty consistently since I started, which was 2 years ago. And I have just a complete love affair with it, but so much so that it's about like time. Like I've gotten time back mentally and physically, digestively as well. I feel like I wake up with just this sense of leanness, which I really enjoy. And I love training in a fasted state too. And it's all subjective. This is just my experience, but I used to be obsessed with, the 3 meals a day plus the snacks in between plus dessert at night. and I've really shifted that specifically the last few years. And my body seems to love it. My mind seems to love it. And it's just something I'm just maintaining and working with, and just, keeping it, going with what's working rather than kind of challenging that right now.
And the beauty is, sometimes I'll go out for breakfast with friends or family, and, sometimes I'll sit there and I'll have a long black, and other times I'll have eggs and avocado and whatever's on my plate, but it's fine, Once the habit has been really, really solidified, I love to deviate from time to time. I love to smash it. But one thing I do find is when I have breakfast first thing in the morning, I'm just hungrier. I'll need something at 10:30 in the morning after eating at 8. And then all of a sudden, before the time I would have eaten for my first time, I would have had 2 meals,
Totally.
It's amazing. Anyway, it's an incredible thought exercise. And it really, we brought this up today just as a kind of a metaphor for many things in life. You can be growing up conditioned to one way of thinking, and to interrupt that loop and to experience something in a different way can open your eyes to a whole new world.
Yeah. And like anything that you try for the first time, it's going to feel really uncomfortable. And it's just about persistence and then exploring what the benefits are. And it might take a bit of time, so a little bit of commitment's needed. But yeah, it's a great invitation to explore your eating plan and ask, is that working? And also ask, how much time I'm thinking about food, and making decisions based on what's going to optimize your life.
And if it's not eating that you're ready for, think about something else in your life that you've been growing up just mindlessly being conditioned to, and challenge it. Think about, is there a way that I can approach this in a different way? Give it a couple of weeks and see how that serves you.
Love it. Look forward to hearing from everyone.
Thanks, guys.